Pablo Zeta is chasing hard behind that. Man is up towards the outside, but as they come to the 250, Horse Chestnut slipped the field and got away clear. Pablo Zeta is trying hard, but he's 4 or 5 lengths adrift of this champion Horse Chestnut. He's everything they thought he was. This is something special. Horse Chestnut very easily doddles the Guineas. Pablo Zeta in behind that. Charles Dickens is moving smoothly in the centre now, and he comes forward to pick it up, and he's going on well. He's all they said he was. He's too good here. Charles Dickens powers home to win it, and to win it comfortably in the end, easing up. At my command, Game in second, tight for third. Dave the King and Port Louis in a photo.
It's Cousin Casey that moves up on the outside of Lightspeed. Nothing more to come from Dave the King. It's Cousin Casey that puts his head in front. He takes the lead at my command from the back. Lamorne is also flying, but Cousin Casey, he shows his class in the Cape Punters Club.
Michael, seeing Bradley Ralphs leave the track this morning, I asked him, is he going down for the Fillies Guineas? He said, no, I'm going for the race of the season. And that's what it could well be. We know the much vaunted accolades that have been bestowed upon Charles Dickens and, of course, Cousin Casey, champion 2-year-old. But you've got a fair share of really top horses as well, having just won the Dingaans.
Yeah, look, Andrew, I've got 3 nice horses there. We're going to take our chances with 2, provided we get some sort of a draw. I don't see it being a big field. I wouldn't believe that many would sort of take their places. I reckon there's 5 or 6 horses in Cape Town that would take their place. Might too. We get the odd fellow off an 85 or 90 that wants to take on a 120, but we've got to make a race of it. Let's put it this way. I mean, the horse runs to a spooky rating last time, Charles Dickens, and it was super impressive. But I think he needs to beat the best of his generation, and it would help make the spectacle of an event if we went down. And I mean, if we ran second to a horse like him, I would view it as a successful raid, and but we've done very well to be there, you know.
You had a gauge with smart money as to how good Horse Chestnut was. That was the freakiest Guineas win that I've ever seen. You've also had Noah from Go down there. You've beaten Dynasty.
Domino Man's in front. Dynasty's coming to grab him close home. Domino Man is hanging tough. Dynasty is trying hard, but Domino Man is finding extra. And Domino Man goes on to beat Dynasty in the closing stages.
But the point is that Socrat is the horse that won the Guineas, that went on to run a short-head second to do it again, which gave you a line on the older horses. And I suppose with this horse, Charles Dickens, being already favoured for the Queen's Plate, it tells you that we have an incredible crop of 3-year-olds.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I don't think that's in dispute at all. They're running to some pretty good ratings. He can beat Jet Dark over a mile. I think Jet Dark's a super horse. And if he can beat Jet Dark over a mile, well, then we're talking, some of the best we've seen in South Africa in a long while. But, I think we're all getting ahead of ourselves. I know what it's like to be in a situation where people talk horses up. I'm sure Candice would feel the same way. But to be the best, you've got to beat the best. And that's going to be make Cape Town this year a super spectacle for sure.
Well, the funny thing is that Carol Bass is not a lady that likes to shout from the rooftops, but she said to me, Andrew, this is the best horse we've ever had. They've never won the Guineas, but they've had Pocket Power, they've had River Jittez, they've had What a Winter, they've had a whole host of good. That's a very big statement from a conservative lady.
Yeah, it is. Again, obviously the Guineas and the King's Plate are looking to be some of the races of the century, never mind the season. So, I think we can all look forward to the horses getting there healthy and us seeing the spectacle that we'd all love to see. I think this is why we all race, Andrew, to see good horses take each other on. I almost get so frustrated with racing when people retire them early. I understand the financial implications of retiring a 2-year-old that's won a Group 1 or a 3-year-old that's won a Group 1. But when you see generations running against each other, 3 and 4 generations, and when that young horse beats them, then you can say, right, okay, now he is the best we've seen in the last 5, 10, 20 years. And I'm hoping that's going to stack up that way in Cape Town at least. I hope it stacks up to be that race that we all would love to see, dearly love to see, and that all the horses get there healthy so that there is that spectacle, I do think that over a mile, Jet Dark for me is a superior animal. I think he's a really beast. I really like him, and I look forward to him going to stud. He's a kind of horse you'd love to breed with.
Final question, Socrat. How do you put your current crop of 3-year-olds into a category? Because he was really, really good. He maybe not have been as good as Awam at the time, but he was very good.
He was very good and very sound and very easy to train. Funny enough, these are in the same sort of vein, quite straightforward horses, sound. It's so difficult to compare crops. if there was anything in it, it wouldn't be much. Let's put it that way. They are, two of the nicest I've had for a while, maybe since Socrat. Awam was also brilliant, but quirky. He didn't have the race day or race course temperament that a Socrat had, or that these two have, funny enough. Yeah, it's very hard to compare crops. I must be honest. That's why I'm looking forward to see, where these young horses stack up with the old horses. Be a very interesting race.
But the funny thing about Awam is that after all the schooling, when you brought him back, he won a 6 in a common canter.
Yes, he did. He was a brilliant horse, there's no doubt about it. I know he won 4 or 5 grade ones. I still don't believe I got the best out of him, because it's not easy. As I keep saying, there's a lot of people that know how to train your horses better than you do. But it's not easy when you're training them, I can tell you that much now. But we got enough out of him, for him to go to stud and people have confidence in. And again, a son of Sylvana, I would dearly love to have seen him another year in training.
And I bet you just cannot wait to get those babies in your yard, just like Heavenly Blue.
Yeah, I always have a lot of faith in the horses that I train, fillies and the colts for that matter, and we'll always go after their progeny for sure. And it's always interesting to see how they stack up one against the other. At the moment, we've got 2 in Vercingetorix and Rafif doing the job properly. And they were so different horses, but I feel quite proud of the fact that fillies go to the stud and produce, colts go to the stud and produce, and it's good for South African racing because they were international horses. So an international buyer can come here and buy a Rafif and a Vercingetorix with the greatest of confidence.